Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. Hokey smokes. I have been outside. I stepped outside, and it is gray. It's overcast. It's chill, but it's not supposed to rain. And while it gets dark around, 5:30ish, I'm hoping to get out to go walkies while there's still sun behind the clouds, but at least sun. It is only a little bit past noon now, and while I do want to record a video of some kind, that should leave me time to hit walkies while the sun is up. That'll be a good thing. Definitely. At least hoping. But still, that's the way it is, and that's the way things are. But for the rest of it, just me, I have things written down up there. Yay! Not a whole lot, but I will talk about this. I'm starting to fear that I'm getting toward the end of the No Man's Sky main quest experience. It's kind of a forever game in that you don't have to do anything that's on a list. You can just farm resources, make bases, explore planets and systems. I've gone into a black hole twice and ended up millions of light years away, which, not a problem. This is a model of a galaxy, but it's smaller and there's faster light travel. But I've gone through a black hole twice, ended up on the other side of the galaxy. There's lots of stuff to just do. But there's a place called the Anomaly. It is a multiplayer hub. Everybody goes there. And you meet NPCs and you learn things and you can buy stuff. And then you can also interact with each other and you can form missions and expeditions with other players. And the weird thing about this Anomaly is that it's not a place that you go to. Wherever you are in space, you summon the Anomaly to you, and this space station just goes whap, and there it is. So you go through the ship lock, and there you are. You're in the multiplayer hub. And then when you leave, you just enter normal space where you entered it, and the Anomaly's behind you. So it's just travels around, but the stuff that's happening in main quest-wise is like pretty heavy duty, so I don't really want to try that yet. But there's not a whole lot left to learn. I've gotten most of the technologies already figured out. So I'm kind of afraid on that measure. But I'm going to keep pushing ahead even if I don't do the main quest, so. And then, of course, you can always just head to the center of the galaxy. That's part of a thing. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. Good game. Don't buy it for $60. Get it on sale, but it's a good game. I don't even know how much it costs anymore. It cost $60 like 10 years ago. I have no ideas what they sell it for anymore. But some of the other things I wanted to talk about. This is something that I was thinking about last night. I have periodically mentioned, mentioned my solo RPG setting. That in the context of things, while it is a solo RPG setting, for me to do solo RPG stuff in, so I've got a setting all made up, it's also a setting that I'm using in a creative sense to try and tell stories. So I'm still setting up this whole place, which is kind of weird. On the whole system setting thing, I've got the whole cosmology and then the multiverses, and then there's the cosmic horrors below them, and then universes, and then there's the particular universe with the Razor's Edge, and the solo RPG setting is a subset of the Razor's Edge, so it's all a part of the whole thing. But the whole character stuff, because I've come up with a whole handful of characters. I've talked about the 4 that I mainly am using as characters to run through things like Order of Eventide, 4 Against Darkness, bring individual characters into like No Quest, or one that I want to try getting into because I've had it for a while. Of course, things are falling all over the place and making this difficult. Something called Harper's Quest. It's a settingless sort of dungeon crawl. Very minimalistic, and so I want to try that one too. But with the characters, I mean, I've mentioned that there's Konar, and then who's just a basic human being. And then there's Dantil, who's a Habani, which is one of the main species of intelligent beings on the continent of Karthkog. Everybody on this world is descended from a particular race that the whole world would have become had there not been speciation caused by a massive war by previous inhabitants 5 million years ago that reshaped the face of the planet. But everyone is descended from these people, the Dwaylen. So just because there are different species on a different continent doesn't mean they're like weird alien beings. They're still roughly human. There's the Apani, only about averaging 4.5 feet tall, masterful farmers. The Habani, about as tall as regular human beings, and they're just generalists. And there are the Orkani, 6.5 feet tall, very tradition bound, living like their ancestors have for thousands of years, refusing to just settle down because you have to keep ways and information alive. But even with these characters, including Fathad, who is an Orkani healer, and Jekan, who's an Apani rogue for the party, Dantil and Kanar are both just battle it out warrior tank types, even though they're not big tanky types. You know, it's you fight and you faint and slash and run away, live to fight another day, not sit there and take it. No. But I'd been trying to think of some others because there are the Dwaylen, and so there's Melianthalor. And this is an individual who, after developing some capital, emigrated to Karthkog, and is now enjoying the life there. Not wanting to be an adventurer and put their life on the line, but like being adventure adjacent. Befriends the other characters, and while they do have their own home built in the settlement of Nagrat, where it's in the Ogranic Forest, where they have a massive amount of expeditions going out to try and gather information, wealth, and goods for the West Adania Merchants Guild. Now back to the characters. So those 2 are the fighters. We've got these others that do the healing and the roguing. And then Melianthalor, Anthel, who's just provides a place for the people to stay and food and all this sort of thing. So they don't have to worry about the logistics. Anthel does. And then I'm going to be introducing both to the story setting and the character setting, and Urkin, which is the dwarves in this world came up all around the world. And so even though they came up out of the ground into the world on 3 different continents, Karthkog, and on Lanlua with the Dwaylen, and on Stelden with the Goya, the human beings, they're all the same people, they just identify differently. They're Urkin from Stelden. They identify as Urkin, but from Stelden. And the, good golly, Miss Molly, Elvandri on Lanlua And then over on Karthkog, they are the Tsandaka. Same people, genetically identical, but different by, well, where they grew up. And this Urkin still identifies as Urkin while being the children of the descendants of those who emigrated to Karthkog. They know that they're the same as the Daka and the same as the Elvandri, but while they are Karthkogian, they also like the heritage of where they came from. And this group of 6 is the adventuring stuff and the storytelling stuff that I've got going on. Because there's a whole lot more, but I don't want to just talk about all that. Let's see if there's anything else up here. The only real thing I wanted to mention, and this is just showing how PTSD, which I do not have from the thing I'm going to talk about, and just flat out anxieties can bring about kind of the same behaviors, though for entirely different meanings. I am not a combat vet. I have not been in combat. I was in the Air Force. I flew a desk during a period of time when the United States actually wasn't in conflict, which is amazing and rare, but that's where I was. But as I've grown older, my social anxieties and general anxieties have gotten stronger, and I was talking with a combat vet, and the things that he does as a combat vet and the things that I do, who is really uncomfortable when entering a room with a lot of people in it, kind of are the same, which is you're scanning the area just for rough, get an idea of what's happening. You're identifying the trouble areas. You're looking for the exits. You keep to the edges of the thing and you make sure you're ready. And it's like, that's just anxiety on my part. But on a far different level, thank goodness I don't have combat PTSD. Because hokey smokes. I mean, we have people here whom we are very close to a hospital. So we have medevac helicopters that come by. You can imagine what that would be like if suddenly you're sleeping and then this big heavy chopper goes overhead. So thank goodness I didn't have to deal with that. Oh my goodness. And that's basically all that I have to talk about. Just my solo RPG stuff, there's the characters and settings and all that are the same, but for different purposes. These individuals are going to be doing different things than these individuals, because these individuals are for stories and possible narrative therapy. So, thumbs up on that. And hey, if you could like, comment, share, and subscribe, that would be very cool. Greatly appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up. Hey. And if you could check out in the description, that came out not English, but in the description I have links to like my PayPal, Patreon, and Amazon wishlist link. If you could check those out, that'd be cool. You don't have to, of course, not mandatory. But if you are a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you so very much. It is appreciated. I am an aging mammal, and it is appreciated, all the help. Thumbs up, thank you. You make this aging mammal's life just a little bit easier. And if you've left me a comment, thumbs up and thank you. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up every comment that YouTube lets me, and I answer as many as my nerve. Ooh, that I don't want to touch that. That was not a good feeling. as many as my nerve compression will allow, but it can take me up to 24 hours, so keep checking in. Definitely thumbs up on that. And hey, I play an internet game of tossing out a secret word or a writer's prompt for something to be written into the comments for blatant engagement farming. And I like to answer as many comments as I can because I like to engage. And I feel it's important to let you know that you've been heard. That goes back to comments, but this is my thanking the people who last played this game, which were Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up and thank you. Leo Tom Music, at least this one seems to have come through with no issues. I don't know why YouTube has problems with the way that you've done the words before. Algorithms. Toilet Decimator, thumbs up and thank you. Salvatore Cento, 871, greatly appreciated. And Sir Schmuckle, always good to see you in the comments. Definitely a thumbs up. And if you have watched this far, if you could, we'll just go with a secret word. If you could write Herpers, with or without the apostrophe, into the comments, that would be very cool for, once again, blatant engagement farming, and it is nice to be heard. Of course, it isn't mandatory. I wouldn't force anyone to do so, even if I had the ability, because consent is important. But if you do play, thumbs up and thank you, and if you don't, I'm not going to think any less of you. Well, I'm going to take care of myself, going to edit, render, upload. I'm going to go out for walkies. I got to see how much money I have left. We'll be coming up here on the 3rd when my disability shows up. Yay! So we shall see what happens. I am going to play video games. I'm going to hopefully play Harper's Quest or any multitude of others that I have. That would be a very good thing. Break through that executive dysfunction. And hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done. That would be cool too. And if not, please do not beat yourself up because you deserve better. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I, Bonk, will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very, very good thing. Or at least I think so. Because, again, if I see you again, well, whole air quotes on everything, see you again, that means I'm not dead. And that, I think, is a very good thing. I want to remain not dead for as long as I possibly can. Well, as long as my quality of life is up there. Life for the sake of life, no. Life has to mean something.